For every song that became a classic, there's another one that got left behind. Great tracks that peaked too low, missed the mainstream, or got buried by bad luck. These are 10 rock songs from the 80s that should have been huge hits.
Stand upon your feet. Your life is sure as hell.
Starting with a song that was so close to being a hit, but couldn't quite make it over the edge. Number 10, The Plimsouls, A Million Miles Away. A Million Miles Away had a perfect setup. The Plimsouls were a Los Angeles power pop band with a cult following. In 1983, the song was featured in Valley Girl, and the band even appeared in the movie performing it. Everything pointed toward a breakthrough. The song reached number 11 on Billboard's Top Rock Tracks chart, but stalled at number 82 on the Hot 100. The movie gave the band real momentum, but the soundtrack rollout was messy, and that likely hurt the song's chance to turn movie buzz into a bigger mainstream hit. The Plimsouls had built their reputation the old-fashioned way: live shows, word of mouth, and a loyal following. But the Valley Girl bump did not last. By 1984, the band had broken up. And because they disappeared that early, A Million Miles Away became the song most casual listeners remembered, while the rest of their catalog never got the attention it deserved. The next song popped up everywhere in the 80s, just not on the pop charts. Number 9, Kim Mitchell, Go for a Soda.
Well, go for a soda, nobody hurts and nobody cries.
Go for a Soda was everywhere in the mid-80s. It became a campaign theme for Mothers Against Drunk Driving. It showed up in Mr. Pibb commercials. It played in the opening scene of a Miami Vice episode. If you lived through that stretch, you heard this song. You just might not have known who sang it. Kim Mitchell was a Canadian rock star. In his home country, Go for a Soda reached number 22 on RPM's Top Singles chart and hit number 1 on RPM's Top CanCon Singles chart. It was a real hit, but in America, it peaked at just number 86 on the Billboard Hot 100. Go for a Soda is the kind of song that felt bigger than its chart peak. It was part of the culture, part of the soundtrack of the era, and still somehow never became a major U.S. pop hit. From a cultural hit that wasn't a hit, to a band in the middle of a meltdown. Number 8, Cheap Trick, If You Want My Love.
If you want my love, you got it when you need.
By 1982, Cheap Trick should have been untouchable. They had the hits, they had the songs, and If You Want My Love was one of the most beautiful ballads they ever recorded. It has since been praised for its Lennon meets McCartney splendor, and MTV played the video in regular rotation. Then the song peaked at number 45 on the Billboard Hot 100 and never went any higher. But the problem was not the song. Original bassist Tom Peterson was gone. The band had been dragged into a $10 million lawsuit with CBS in 1981. It was the beginning of a backward slide that would define their next few years. But at least the song was a hit in Australia, making it all the way to number 2. The next song was a masterpiece out of time. Number 7, Marshall Crenshaw, Someday, Some Way. Marshall Crenshaw had a gift for catchy hooks. Someday, Some Way sounded timeless. New York radio picked it up early and helped turn it into a regional hit. It felt like the kind of song that should have gone much further. Instead, it peaked at number 36 on the Billboard Hot 100. And that was it, his only top 40 hit. Part of the problem was timing. In 1982, Crenshaw's clean, melodic power pop was beloved by critics, but it was never the easiest sell in a singles market that leaned bigger, flashier, and more trend-driven.
You take everything from me, you think I'm taking everything from.
So even though Someday Someway had the hook, the charm, and the radio appeal, it stopped short of becoming the kind of breakout hit it sounded like it should have been. Crenshaw later realized he had subconsciously written the lyric around the awkward early days of his own marriage and the dawning realization that it was permanent. Critics treated it like a power pop classic, but that was not enough to make it a bigger hit. From a song that barely made the top 40 to one that topped rock radio but could not crack the pop charts. Number 6. The Smithereens, Only a Memory. The intro riff to Only a Memory was born during a sound check in Madrid in early 1987. Pat Denizio came up with it on the spot and yelled to a roadie to record it before the idea vanished. That urgency carried into the finished song, a driving power pop track with a melody that hooks on the first listen. The song dominated rock radio. It topped Billboard's mainstream rock chart and became the Smithereens' first song to reach the Billboard Hot 100. But it only peaked at number 92.
When no one wins or takes the blame, but it's only.
The gap between number 1 on the rock chart and number 92 on the Hot 100 tells you everything about who the Smithereens were. They were huge on college and rock radio, but they never became a major top 40 band. They never leaned into the glossy pop production of the era. They made moody, melodic rock and toured hard, which is why they are still beloved with the alt-rock crowd. So far, we've heard a movie soundtrack moment left in the background, a cultural hit nobody could name, and a number 1 rock track invisible to mainstream audiences. But the top 5 should have been much bigger. A label that sabotaged the same song twice, an MTV launch day anthem that got buried. And the number 1 spot goes to a song that fans literally couldn't buy. Number 5. The Kings. This Beat Goes On, Switchin' to Glide. The Kings were a Canadian rock band who caught a huge break in 1980. Legendary producer Bob Ezrin heard them while they were recording and helped push the band toward an Elektra deal. The result was This Beat Goes On, Switchin' to Glide, a 2-part medley that turned 2 separate songs into one seamless pop-rock statement. Then, Elektra Records started interfering. First, the label tried to release just Switchin' to Glide on its own. It did not get much notice. The band had to pressure Elektra to release the full medley the way it was meant to be heard. Once they did, the song peaked at number 43 and spent 23 weeks on the Hot 100. But Elektra wasn't done yet. In the late 1980s, the song experienced an unexpected revival on Chicago radio. Alternative, classic rock, and top 40 stations all started playing it at once. It looked like a second chance at a hit. But the band's records were hard to find, and Elektra never capitalized on the moment with a reissue. The revival came and went, and the opportunity slipped away. The next song had its brief moment of glory on MTV's very first day of broadcasting. Number 4. April Wine, Sign of the Gypsy Queen. On August 1st, 1981, MTV aired its first day of programming. Among the videos that played was April Wine's Sign of the Gypsy Queen. That should have been a huge advantage. The Canadian hard rock band had released The Nature of the Beast earlier that year. And their version of the Lawrence Hudd song had everything a breakout 80s rock hit needed. Drama, melody, a huge chorus, and a guitar attack built for AOR radio. Rock radio responded. The song reached number 19 on the mainstream rock chart. But on the Billboard Hot 100, it stalled at number 57. That's the part that still feels strange. This was not some obscure deep cut. It had MTV exposure from the very beginning. It had the hooks. It had the atmosphere. It had the kind of chorus that sounds bigger every time it comes around. And still, it never made the jump to a real pop hit. Over time, it became an AOR staple that still gets airplay. But because it never fully crossed into the mainstream, its legacy looks smaller than the song itself. April Wine stayed a rock radio force, while the pop world mostly passed them by, even when the opening was right there. From an anthem lost outside the mainstream, to a song that could not break through even though it had enough hooks to fill 3 or 4 songs. Number 3. Cheap Trick. Tonight It's You. 3 years after If You Want My Love stalled, Cheap Trick tried again. Tonight It's You was the lead single from their 1985 album Standing on the Edge. Rolling Stone called it gorgeous top 40 mischief and said it sounded like 3 or 4 hit songs vacuum-packed into one. The song had everything: cascading acoustic guitars, Rick Nielsen's wall of fuzz guitar tone, and Robin Zander singing his heart out. MTV played the video hard. Rock radio loved it. It peaked at number 8 on the mainstream rock chart and stayed on the Hot 100 for 17 weeks. But it stalled at number 44 on the Billboard Hot 100, just outside the top 40 again. The bigger issue was not the song itself. Standing on the Edge leaned into slicker mid-80s production with added keyboards and a more polished mix than many fans associated with classic Cheap Trick. The single worked anyway, but the album as a whole never became the comeback they needed. Another single followed, but Tonight It's You remained the one that got closest. The full comeback still had to wait until The Flame 3 years later. The next song was loved by critics, but didn't even chart on the Hot 100. Number 2. The Smithereens, Blood and Roses. Blood and Roses was the first single from the Smithereens' 1986 debut album, Especially for You. Pat Denizio wrote it about a girl he knew in high school who had taken her own life. The title came from a short story by Japanese writer Yukio Mishima. The song was moody, haunted, and built around a bass line that came to Denizio while he was walking home through the freezing rain at 4 in the morning. The Village Voice named it the 13th best single of the year. The song peaked at number 14 on the mainstream rock chart and became a college radio staple.
Seems like yesterday.
But it never crossed over, never charting on the Hot 100 at all. The Smithereens built their career through club touring and late-night college radio. They didn't play arenas. They didn't have glossy ad campaigns. Blood and Roses should have been the song that pushed them into the mainstream. A classic loved by critics and by rock radio, but one that pop audiences never really heard. The number 1 spot goes to the most infuriating story on this list, a song that fans wanted to buy, but couldn't. Number 1, Shooting Star, Last Chance. Shooting Star was a band from Kansas City built for arena rock. Last Chance opens with an electric violin and builds to a massive chorus that sounds like it was made for a stadium full of people. The song became the number 1 most played AOR track in the country. But when fans tried to buy it, the album was not in stores. Shooting Star's label, Virgin Records, had gotten into a distribution dispute with Atlantic Records.
Stand up on your feet, 'cause you're at the show's head.
The fight dragged on for 6 months. For 6 months, one of the hottest rock songs on American radio had no album in the bins. The only way fans could hear it was on the radio. By the time the dispute got sorted out, the momentum was gone. The album stalled at number 147 on the Billboard 200. A band that sounded built for much bigger things ended up as an AOR favorite instead of a mainstream breakthrough. That is what makes it the number 1 spot. The song was a hit. The fans wanted it. But the label strangled its momentum with the distribution battle. A perfect arena rock anthem stranded in limbo while 2 companies fought over who would get it into stores. That's our list. 10 80s rock songs that had everything they needed to be massive hits. Except luck. What other song should have been bigger? Let us know in the comments.